Well, that was random. A system update that I wasn't even aware of. Then again, it's not like... Pretty much I log into my PlayStation 4 more than I do my Switch. So, I guess I'm a little more on top of that than I am with the Switch's updates. Anyway, hey everyone, ArdrethShadow here, and welcome back to Doki Literature Club Plus. Previously, I went through the side story of trust between Sayori and Monica. Now it looks like the next one that I have to go through is Understanding, featuring Sayori and Yuri. And yeah, so there's 6 of them in all, technically, I guess. I think you're supposed to unlock another one after you finish the main 6 of them here. Well, I guess I'll see when I get to it. Anyway, let's not delay this any further. Oh, what do you know, this picks up like right after the end of the Trust side story. The club meeting is suddenly interrupted by the sound of the door, causing Monica and Sayori to turn their heads. No, we weren't having a moment that the shippers are going to go crazy about, I swear. Well, my joking aside, I mean, that was a pretty sweet moment, though, between the two of them. But yeah, you can't deny that a lot of Psionica shippers are going to have a field day with some of that. The door opens halfway, then stops. A face peeks inside. And then they say, "Here's Johnny!" Okay, yeah, that... Unfortunately, I'm a few days late for Halloween. A face that seems familiar. Jack Nicholson? No. Is that you, Satan? Okay, no. Hi. Sayori's eyes widen, recognizing the girl. She very conspicuously mouths to Monica. I think she's on to us. Okay, no. It's her! It's the girl! It's true. It's that girl. The girl standing in the doorway is none other than the girl Sayori had come across reading alone in a classroom. Thanks to Monica leaving a flyer on her desk, it seems she's found her way to the club. Are you here for the literature club by any chance? No, she's here for the hot dogs. No. No. Am I in the wrong place? No, you're not. This is the literature club. Please come inside. Please come inside. The girl fully steps in the door, but continues standing against the wall, avoiding eye contact. Sayori continues to fail containing her excitement. It's happening! Okay, well, I wouldn't be able to... I don't think I could do that in Sayori's voice. Let me see, can I try? It's happening! Oh my gosh! Okay, well, way to prove myself wrong. Thank you so much for coming. Sorry it's a little empty. I'm Monica, and this is Sayori, and we run the literature club. Even though it's just us so far, but... What's your name, by the way? I'd like to join your club. Already? But you don't even know us yet! Wait, really? Are you sure? I mean, I should be good enough. Everyone is welcome here. You don't have to be good enough. Oh. Do you want to have a seat? We'd love to get to know you. The girl nods, sliding over to a nearby desk and gently sitting down. So, what's your name? Yuri. I'm Sayori, and this is Monica. Yeah, I was about to say, she kind of already introduced the two of you. Sayori, Nice to meet you. Do you like fantasy? Is this real life, or is this just fantasy? Like, books? Yuri looks at Monica. It's like, I'll just ignore your answer for now. Fantasy is cool. Yes. Have you heard of Annabelle Dupont? I don't know if I butchered her name. Annabelle Dupont. Yeah, I'm just like... I don't care if she's been dead for who knows how many years. I still feel bad about butchering a person's name. Also, I just realized Yuri is doing the funny. How do I do the... Dang, I can't do it. Damn, how would you have done that? Okay, so I cannot make the text box go away. I would love to display the funny in its full glory, but I cannot. I can't say I have. Oh, well, she's my favorite author. I'm on her 5th book, and it's just... Yuri grins and presses her knuckles against her cheeks in joy. That's not her cheeks, that's her... Never mind. I'm not going to fault the game sprites for not matching the dialogue, but... Well, I guess good to know, though. Especially if I'm writing my own mods, and I'm here like... Wait, I don't have a pose of Yuri pressing her knuckles against her cheek. You can borrow my books. I wouldn't mind. You're really You're really in for an incredible experience. Monica stammers, caught off guard by Yuri taking control of the conversation. Yes! Yuri, take control! She glances sideways at Sayori, silently asking for help. Sayori, take me away! I'd love to. It sounds like you're really into them, so they must be great. I'm so happy I found this club. Oh, I'm so stupid. No, you're not. You're intelligent and beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with you. And that's the truth. And if anyone says otherwise, well then they can all go... sit in a tree. I don't know. That was the best I could come up with in such short notice. I left all my other books in my locker. I should have brought them. Yuri quickly stands up. You're leaving already? Yes, you are. I'll be right back. I'll go get them for you. You probably only need to bring one for now. Imagine if Yuri kept her entire library in her locker. Sayori nervously says that, noting to herself the considerable heftiness of the book that Yuri set down on her desk. True. Okay, I'll get the first one then. Yuri exits the club room in a flash, leaving Monica and Sayori silently exchanging glances. Oh my god, I wasn't prepared for this. How do I handle someone so intense? Yuri is a passionate person. I have, no experience with fantasy, except maybe stuff that I read when I was a kid, but that's probably like a joke compared to what she's into. Like Harry Potter! Okay, well. There's a girl from my high school years, and I still follow her on social media and everything. She's pretty much gotten her kids, like, into Harry Potter, the movies and all that, and... Yep, so... I mean, you never know, whatever fantasy you might be into, it could still have a following, even as a young adult, or an older adult who has children. You know what I mean. I'm sure it'll be fine. In fact, I think it's neat that we have different people who are into different kinds of literature. It'll be fun to learn from each other. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree, but... what if this is her only interest? Doesn't it kind of seem like that? I see no problems here. Monica, don't you think you should be more optimistic? We have a new club member. There shouldn't be room for anything but being happy. I'm excited to get to know her more, aren't you? Yeah, I guess you're right. Sorry for being so hasty. I just got really anxious all of a sudden. It's because you're afraid of not being able to take the lead. Yeah, I think that is it. What the heck? It's kind of scary how you can point out things like that, Sayori. I just like learning what makes people happy or sad. Yeah. Hey, you know what? You'd probably be great at helping Yuri feel comfortable here. Hey there, Ninja. Maybe you could oops. Maybe you could take a break from helping me with the administrative stuff and just focus on spending time with her. Yeah, I am. Yay! That's exactly what I want to do. Besides... Sayori lowers her voice. I'm probably going to need all the time I can get. Okay, no. I'm probably going to need all the time I can get. Psh. Yeah, Sayori doesn't sound like that. And yes, this is the side stories. You unfortunately missed the Monica and Sayori one, which I think kind of gave a lot of insight to the both of them. She taps her finger against the dauntingly chunky book Yuri left sitting on the desk. Right afterwards, the door opens to reveal Yuri's return. Is that you, Satan? Okay, I already did that. I'm back. Her breath is slightly heavy, which, combined with her short time gone, indicates she may have ran at least part of the way. She makes her way back over to Sayori and sets the book down on her desk. She just drops it and it nearly breaks the desk. Alright, no. Just as Sayori feared, the book Yuri brought for her is just about equal in size to the one already on Yuri's desk. It's as big as my head! Well, there are probably a few things you should know before getting started on it. There are some things that are more explained in other books that take place in the same universe, so going over those would be good to keep you from getting confused at the start. Sayori nervously interjects. Well, I was thinking that maybe today we could get to know each other a little bit more. You know, I think, like, if we're going to be reading together, then I would like that. From across the room, Monica smiles and nods at Sayori while Yuri isn't looking. Oh, okay. Yuri sits down, then looks at her book, then glances around the room. showing no indication that she has anything more to add.
So, what made you decide you wanted to join the club? Well, I like reading, so I was immediately interested. I had no idea that someone was starting a literature club, but that's my fault since I haven't been paying attention to any of the club recruitment advertisements. I only found out because
Yuri glances over at Monica.
Monica! Monica came into my classroom and put a flyer on my desk.
Suddenly Yuri's face darkens, and she shakes her head at herself.
I was so stupid. I got too nervous and I couldn't even look up, so she just walked out.
That kind of is what happened. Monica was kind of here like, okay, I guess I'm gonna leave now since you're not saying anything.
It took me several days just to come here because I was afraid that Monica told everyone how inconsiderate I was. But I decided that probably was irrational. Wait! No, that was totally my fault. I felt so bad about interrupting you that I just, walked out.
And seriously, Monica kind of sounds a little more like a Valley girl here.
Oh my god, I just had to, walk out all of a sudden because I thought I was totally interrupting you and, God, just gag me with a spoon and...
Alright, no.
I was actually really hoping that you would come by.
Yuri exhales in relief.
I always seem to interpret things as the worst possible scenario. Well, I was really nervous to come here for some other reasons, too. Such as there being too many people.
Well, crisis averted there, because there's only 2 other people here.
Not that I mind that much, but I have a really hard time having to meet a large number of new people at once.
As do I.
So, it's actually amazing that it's just the 2 of you. I definitely came at the right time. Aw, that makes me happy. I'm proud of you for working up the courage to come.
Yuri smiles warmly to herself.
I have never really had the privilege of sharing my interests with others before. It's so hard to find others who are into the same things I am, except online.
Yeah, online you can pretty much find almost anybody with the same interests. But if we're talking IRL, well, yeah, good luck. I know, I've tried.
So I thought the literature club would provide a chance for me to do that. What kinds of other things are you into? Like, genres?
No, I'm pretty sure she means, in general, outside of reading.
I don't know, just anything, even if it's not literature. Oh, just things you would think are dumb.
Sari pauses, a look of concern on her face.
How about... I'll tell you something I'm into, and then you can tell me about something you're into. I suppose that would be okay. Okay! Well, I'm pretty into, crafty things. Like making cute collages or decorating things, like cards or jewelry boxes. My room's always cluttered with random stuff because I keep buying things to make gifts for my friends. But then I put it off till the last minute. So yeah, that's something kind of silly that I'm into. You sound quite creative. Not that much. It's just that you'd be surprised by how much you can do with scissors and glue and stuff. So I have to share something that I'm into now, right?
That's kind of what we established, I guess. Sari nods. I shared mine, now you share yours.
Well, I guess I'm into nature. I love nature. Monica, I'm gonna start a nature club.
Orderly.
No, you're not. You're stuck here with me now.
You hear that, boys? You're stuck with her now. Alright, well, there's that yandere side of her kind of showing.
Am not. Oh, yeah? Well, I hereby appoint you as Vice President of the Literature Club.
Okay, I guess that confirms how she became the Vice President. She was newly anointed by Monica at some point. It's like, there, I own you now, and you can't leave.
There, now you're stuck with me. Hey, don't give me responsibilities. I don't like that stuff. Oh, I'm sorry, Yuri. I interrupted you. Go ahead. It's fine.
Yuri pauses, feeling awkward after having gotten cut off. You didn't have to cut me off.
I like going out into the woods or to the park. Just places where you can walk or sit and not have any people around. It's peaceful.
It's a peaceful life.
Just nice to kind of remove myself from everything that matters and let my racing mind operate autonomously for a while. When do you like to do that? It just depends on my mood. After school, on the weekends, whenever I feel like I need it. Wow, I feel like I would never have the time to do something like that. I find that we have a lot...
Okay, well...
I find that we have a lot more time than we think we do, if you don't let it slip through your fingers.
Oh, man. That reminds me of some kind of quote I heard once. Kind of to combat, like, how everyone... Or, well, there are people out there who would be like, I don't have enough time, there should be... I wish there were more hours in the day. And then this quote was here saying, like... We all have the same amount of time as everyone else, and some people are able to make use of it more. Essentially saying, like, stop complaining that there should be more hours in the day because other people are able to use the same amount of hours that you have to do more. To that I say, it's not that easy, so give me a break. Or give us a break. A lot of us are still trying to figure out what to do with the hours we have in the day. Just trying to make things work. That's why we feel like we need more wiggle room. The three continue their conversation, primarily led by Sayori, but with Monica chiming in every now and then as well. Monica had intended to leave it to Sayori and focus on her own work, but she found it difficult not to join in. Well, I mean... Yeah, you guys kind of have to... Well, I like seeing this. Them all kind of talking together and getting along and getting to know each other. And that's sort of like one of the main things you do in a club. You meet new people, you get to know them, and hopefully you develop friendships with them. Before they knew it... Okay, my alarm... Yeah, I guess I was here... I typically have that either to wake me up in case I have a nap, or as an alternative, like to let me know, hey, if you want to stream now, now's a good time. It's 8 o'clock. Before they knew it, the end of the day was upon them once more.
Oh, it looks like we should be wrapping up for today. So, are you two going to be starting on that book the next club meeting? That's the plan! I'm so excited.
Sayori beams. Yuri collects her things. Once packed, Yuri wordlessly waves to Sayori and Monica with a gentle smile.
Bye!
As Yuri exits, Sayori enthusiastically returns her farewell. Once again, Sayori and Monica are left in the club room.
Sayori, you are a lifesaver. I didn't do anything. I just talked. Still. Besides, it really lifted my mood. It feels really nice when I can put my energy toward other people like that. She was really excited to be included, you know. It made me happy.
Yeah, unfortunately, if I'm going off of what I sort of know about Yuri, whether it's through mods or through the hints left throughout the game itself, Yuri doesn't really have that many people she can talk to. She's often left feeling kind of like an outcast without anyone to go to, so to have something like this, it's probably like... it's like a real breath of fresh air to her, so... I bet she really was excited to be included in a conversation like this. Because it's not often that she can experience that.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that she'll have a great time here with you engaging her. How are you feeling about starting the book with her next meeting? I'm kinda scared, but I think she'll be happy as long as I'm trying my best. I think you'll do great.
After the surprise of new club member, it seems like everyone has their spirits lifted with something new to look forward to. The next day... another school day ends. Swallowing her anxiety, Yuri makes her way to the club room, expecting to be the last one to arrive. And plot twist, she's the first one! Hey there. As she opens the door, she's surprised to find only Sayori in the club room. Okay, so she's not the first one there. I wonder if this is at the point where Monica starts kind of getting into the piano, or... oh, who knows.
It's club time again!
Oh, okay, so that's what happened. Unless Monica's just saying that to get out of her president duties. Okay, no. She wouldn't do that.
Monica went to the computer lab, so it's just us today. Is that okay?
Yuri silently nods, unable to make eye contact.
I'm sorry about yesterday.
What happened yesterday? See, Sayori's about as confused as I am. Sayori tilts her head, unsure of exactly what Yuri is talking about.
Well, I mean, the way I got overly excited to share my books, and how you had to stop me so we could talk first. It was so inconsiderate of me. Oh, Yuri, you're such a loudmouth. I got too excited and forgot to think about everyone else in the club, so... Yuri, you didn't do anything wrong. I thought it was cute how excited you were. Well, still... I think... I changed my mind about the book. We don't have to read it. Huh? Why? Because... I know that you were just humoring me anyway. In retrospect, it's rather obvious that nobody was truly interested. But... if you like it so much, then it should be worth sharing. I've already decided I'll join the club, so you don't have to try so hard to entice me. That's not what I was doing.
A moment of uncomfortable silence stretches between the two of them.
Well, the thing is, we don't even have any club activities yet.
Yeah, which made me wonder, what what did you guys all do before MC joined? Although, of course, he apparently does not exist in this universe. At least not the way that we're familiar with him. I don't know, I guess I'll have some more clarity once I get to the end of all this. There's a reference to him in the Sayori Monica side story, but otherwise, yeah, so far I understand it that he never appears in these.
I mean, Monica and I have just been working on recruitment stuff, mostly. So it just sounded like something fun we could do together. Reading your books. You know, like, as a club activity. That would be okay, right? Why am I being so resistant to this anyway? It's exactly what I wanted in the first place, and you're being so nice about it. I really don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sorry for being like this. You don't have to apologize. Just tell me if there's anything I can do to help you feel more comfortable here.
Sari pulls her desk up against Yuri's and sits next to her. The book in question is already on Yuri's desk. Peering over, Sari reads the cover of the book.
Dusk Bell. Part 1 of the Everlast Saga.
Oh, great. This better not be a ripoff of the Twilight Saga. Because if it is, I'm gonna be here like, Yuri, I thought you were better than that!
It's Dusk Bell by Annabelle.
Yes, it is. Well, who wrote the Twilight books? Stephanie Meyer? Was that her name? I think so. So Annabelle Dupont and, well, like I said, I'm just hoping that it's not like an obvious spoof of the Twilight books, because... No! Yuri, I thought you were better than that!
Sorry, I'm ready now. Oh, right, I should probably get some paper.
Yuri grabs a spiral notebook and tears out a few sheets of paper. What are we doing?
Wait, how come you need paper?
Okay, it seems like Yuri seems to really enjoy, like, making theories and... Well, maybe not making theories, but it's almost kind of similar to, well, back when I used to like game theory and how MatPat would do things kind of like that. Timelines and, well, the infamous family tree for Rosalina.
Oh, it's just to draw out, oh, it's just useful to draw things out sometimes. Like maps, timelines, family trees, or just for taking notes. Notes? You didn't tell me there was going to be a test! I mean... yes, that's an effective strategy. Exactly. I'm sure it will be especially helpful for someone new to the genre.
Oh my... Are you... Well, I don't know if... Are you gonna make Sayori take notes, or are you gonna be taking the notes? Sayori's joke flew completely over Yuri's head. It was a joke? I didn't realize that. Well, the joke flew over my head as well, then. But thinking about it, she decides that it's probably for the best that it did.
Well, I'm not used to having company through this, but I'll try to make it as accessible as possible. I trust you. You're like super smart. Oh, please.
Yuri tries to dismiss the compliment, but she can't hide her smile and light blush.
You can't generalize intelligence. I'm only smart in the things I have a lot of experience with. Contrarily, I'm awful at anything involving real people.
As am I. So I feel you there.
That should be evident enough from the 2 days I've spent here so far. So in my eyes, it's everyone else who comes off as smart. Especially you.
No! No! Oh, hello. Sayori rubs her shoulder against Yuri's.
You're such a sweetheart when you're You're such a sweetheart when you're not being shy.
And then you made her have a meltdown inside.
Anyway, would you like to get started? Okay.
After the minor diversion between them, the two get back on track with their planned club activity. Yuri begins to guide Sayori through the basics of the fantasy world her story takes place in, which I hope doesn't involve an emotionless girl caught in a love triangle between a sparkly fairy vampire man and a guy who turns into a dog wolf thing. The more of it she details, the races, factions, history, elements of magic, the more questions Sayori seems to have. But despite despite Sayori's expectations, Yuri eloquently guides her through it in a way such that it's fun to follow along. It becomes evident that the world-building aspect of the story, not just the story itself, is one that Yuri finds her passion leaning towards.
How do people come up with this stuff?
I have no idea.
It's like the exact opposite of the kind of writing that I do. What kind of writing? Oh, like poetry and stuff like that. The things I write are just putting down the feelings that come into my head, you know? But this is like... there must be so much planning and hard work. You're into poetry? I think there's an appendix that includes some of the kingdom's written works, like poetry and folk songs.
Okay, confirmed. It is nothing like Twilight. Good.
No way!
Yes way. Yuri giggles, filling Sayori's heart with happiness when she realizes it's the first time she's heard Yuri laugh. Yeah, that must be... Imagine hearing Yuri laugh for the first time. It means Yuri must be having fun.
Anyway, I think we can get started reading now, if you're ready. But... Okay, but I can't read very fast. Oh, that's fine. I'm very patient. Patience is something I pride myself in.
And patience is also something you should really give Yuri. Patience and understanding.
I see.
What the? Sayori jots "Yuri is patient" into her notes.
Hey, that's for the book.
What the?
I'm just kidding. But I'm kind of glad you're patient, because I need that sometimes. A lot of times.
Sayori flips to the first pages of the book, getting past the table of contents.
Okay, Chapter 1.
The room becomes silent as the two of them begin to read. But the silence only lasts for a moment before Sayori speaks up again.
What does vindicated mean? Well, in this context, it essentially means that he was proven innocent. It's okay to ask questions, right? Of course.
Of course! Sayuri turns the page.
Are these footnotes? Mm-hmm. A lot of the dialogue has cultural references that require explanation to be understood.
The two continue reading. Yuri's relaxed expression remains unchanged. Meanwhile, Sayuri's expression grows tense as she tries to make her way through the dense text. Up until now, their expressions had been reversed, with Sayuri easily navigating social situations and Yuri struggling in them. Yeah, now we've essentially entered Yuri's world, where she's literally in her element here. But the tables have turned. Yeah, see? Oh, how the turntables.
Wait, are they talking about the past tense right now? Or the present? Where? Right here. They're talking about the past. These paragraphs are describing a flashback that Barnes is having. But they didn't tell me that. It's implied from the context.
Okay. So we just had like a sudden shift in... It reminds me of something one of my high school English teachers would say. Something about how a narrative rarely ever digresses. Or was it regress? Basically, the way she put it, it's that a narrative rarely ever, it travels back in time. Like, more often than not, we're supposed to be, going forward, unless, from a narrative perspective, the flashback is necessary. Although, yeah, I don't know how you would be able to transition a flashback like that without, kind of giving some sort of indication outright. Versus, yeah, I guess if you're just looking for your context clues, I guess that's really the only way you'd be able to figure it out in this case. Which, I guess Sayuri kind of wasn't able to. And I can't say for sure because I'm not reading what she's reading. Sayuri rubs her temples. Oh no. Is it... It almost seems like she's having, a processing overload here. The two of them continue, with Sayuri asking fewer questions. Is it because she's understanding it more, or because she's afraid to? Oh, okay, well. She begins to understand the value in the notes, as she finds herself referring to them somewhat often, and even adding to them. But her reduction in questions comes from her getting used to the reading. Okay, I read that wrong, but that's actually what I was thinking. But her reduction in questions comes not from her getting used to the reading, but rather from her fearing that she'll come across as stupid. Yeah, is she afraid to ask questions because she's gonna think, oh no, Yuri's gonna think I'm an idiot if I don't understand this? She's afraid to ask a stupid question, even though I would imagine Yuri wouldn't. Yeah, in fact, I don't think she would be angry at that. At last, Sayuri reaches the end of the chapter, and her brain is probably fried.
I think we can stop here for now. Okay.
Sayuri takes a deep breath and closes what little of the book she's gotten through so far.
So, what are your thoughts up to this point?
Sayuri tries to find words. Give me words! Any words!
Am I doing well so far? I'm not sure I understand. Well, I don't know. When it takes me so long to read and understand things, it makes me feel really dumb. But I really like how you got into it. But I really like how into it you got. But I really like how into it you get. It makes me want to keep going and to keep doing my best so I can see it the way that you do.
The relaxation in Yuri's expression fades. She's probably picking up on something here.
I see.
Yuri quietly gathers her things. She's not gonna leave, is she? You're not worried that Sayori doesn't like you, are you? Because I can assure you that's not the case here at all.
We can continue tomorrow, right?
Uh-oh. Yuri pauses, then shakes her head.
We can do something else tomorrow. But I'm sorry. Wait, sorry for what? I don't understand. I'm sorry. I don't want to do this anymore. That's all. I'm sorry that I made you.
Yeah, she probably picked up that Sayori was maybe having some difficulties. And she's probably like dying of embarrassment right now, being like, I shouldn't have made her do that, and now she's going to not like me, or something like that. And I can say from experience, I've been in situations like that, where I've often had people kind of think that I'm weird or whatever, if I try to kind of introduce them to my interests and whatever. And they walk away thinking there's something wrong with me, I walk away feeling rejected, and Yuri leaves.
You weren't making me.
Sayori is left alone with her words.
How did this happen? We were having fun just a second ago. It's my fault. I said something stupid and hurt her.
And unfortunately, in Sayori's case, now she's here blaming herself. So the both of them are kind of blaming each other for... Well, Yuri for, in her eyes, forcing Sayori to like something that she likes. And Sayori kind of blaming herself for making Yuri feel rejected, I guess, for the lack of a better word.
I should have just told her that I enjoyed it. Monica trusted me with this. It's the only thing I'm good at, and I still messed it up.
And unfortunately, with Sayori's depression, now she's going to start blaming herself for essentially screwing this up, even though it's all just a misunderstanding from the both of them.
What if she doesn't want to come back?
Drowned in guilt, Sayori stares blankly at her desk, spread with notes. The book sits next to them.
Right. If she wasn't coming back, then she wouldn't have left the book here, right?
You would hope so, right?
Unless she just forgot to take it with her. This is horrible. Was it really because she thought I wasn't enjoying our time together? Or maybe she wasn't enjoying our time together because I'm just not good enough? I probably let her down so much by having trouble following along. Yeah, I'm sure if I was smarter, she would be having so much more fun.
Hey there.
I need to do better for her.
Okay, so that's the end of that side story. And now we have this image of Yuri unlocked. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay, I guess that's it there. As for the music, well, unfortunately, considering I can never remember what the track listing is before and after going through this, not like I can be like, yes, I understand this, or yes, I know which one we unlocked. And I suppose I can just try to go through the track listing myself and just see, like, okay, where do each of these tracks go to? Okay, so now we have Understanding Part 2, which, well, yeah, I can definitely see now why it's called Understanding. So trust is obviously like the trust between them two to confide in each other. And understanding because these two are trying to understand one another. I wonder when Natsuki's gonna get involved in this. Like, is she gonna get involved in this, like, just after this? Oops, I bumped the mic. Yeah, because Yuri came in at the end of the Trust side story. You know, after kind of being alluded to in the middle of it. Alright, anyway, let's continue on. For the first time, Sayuri is the first to enter the club room. Okay, so I guess Monica isn't quite into the piano yet. Maybe. Anxiety courses through her relentlessly. Will Yuri show up today? Sitting at a desk, she stamps her feet down in an attempt to calm down.
Why am I letting this affect me so much?
Because you're worried that you chased her away or something, that's why. It is no joke when I say that I relate to the both of them so much. Like, I grew up being kind of an outcast in my middle school and high school years, so I can relate to Yuri so much on that level. And then as someone who's dealt with depression and worried about what other people thought of them, yeah, I'm here like, I've been down that road where I'm here like, oh god, like, did they think that I'm some kind of a freak or a, like, something where I chase them away and not wanting to have anything to do with me? So, I've been down both of their paths in one way or another.
I'm doing everything I can to make Yuri happy. But my best wasn't good enough. But it was still my best. But I'm letting everyone down. I'm always just a disappointment.
And my heart kind of breaks hearing some of the things she's saying right now. Like, I just want to give her a hug and tell her, no, you're not a disappointment. Please listen to me. You're doing your best. You are not disappointing anybody. I promise you. Self-deprecating thoughts. Yeah, you see, I've had my own share of self-deprecating thoughts and my own sort of rain cloud moments. Sayuri continues to wrestle with her self-deprecating thoughts. Every tiny noise causes her to lift her head in anticipation of Yuri's arrival. Minutes pass, and nobody enters the club room. Not Yuri or Monica. Oh god, is she gonna arrive today?
Gosh, I'm so late. Why did I offer to help those other students with their work?
They're taking advantage of you, Monica.
I'm such a pushover sometimes.
And that's precisely why they're taking advantage of you.
I'm going to leave such a bad first impression on new club members like Yuri if I'm not the first one there.
Monica rounds the corner, approaching the club room. As she does so... Okay, so I guess Yuri's kind of here struggling to be like, do I want to go in? Do I not want to go in?
Yuri?
Yuri jumps at the sound of Monica's voice. She's sitting outside the club room against the next wall to the door. Or the wall next to the door. Hello, my name is Daniel, and sometimes I am a word dyslexic. If that wasn't obvious enough. Embarrassed, she quickly reads the book she was reading and stands up. She quickly closes the book she was reading and stands up. See?
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry I'm late. You didn't have to wait outside for me. The door to the club room is open. It's not...
Yuri stammers, unable to explain herself. She peers inside the club room through the window, then looks away.
Actually, I was just wondering if I could help you today instead. Huh? Me? With club publicity stuff? Yes!
Yuri, it's going to involve talking to a lot of people. And if you're anything like me, you're going to be struggling like no tomorrow. It's going to be like a constant nightmare having to talk to people. Monica is utterly confused. Why is Yuri asking this all of a sudden, when she was so eager to spend time with Sayori before? Did they not get along after all? Monica looks in the club room herself to see Sayori sitting alone inside. Probably looking very sad and confused over this whole misunderstanding.
Okay. It's kind of a simple job, but I'd be happy for you to tag along.
What? You're really gonna do this?
Me too.
Monica is worried, but she finds it difficult to insert herself into whatever conflict that may have arisen. But that's the thing, there is no conflict, it's just a misunderstanding. It's a little ironic, she realizes, that she could be so conflict avoidant after having been in the debate club.
Okay, let's take a walk together. I just have to make copies of this new flyer, then go around to the billboards and replace the old ones with the new ones.
Yuri nods and the two set off. Yeah, I'm just here like, this is eating away at Sayori right now. So I'm just here like, you're really gonna do this and let the madness continue eating away at her? The two walk in silence. Without Sayori, Monica finds it quite difficult to strike up conversation.
So, how's everything been going? Fine. That's good.
That's good! Neither of them follow up with anything more. Such riveting conversation. Although, who am I to talk? I wouldn't be able to strike up... I struggle striking up conversations with people. Even now. Monica tenses up at the stinted conversation. How the heck does Sayori do it?
Sorry I didn't see you yesterday. I went straight to the computer lab to work on the flyers. Sayori told me. What did you two end up doing yesterday? Just some reading. Oh, I'm glad. It's really starting to feel more like a literature club now. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I felt so intimidated at first when I heard about the kind of reading you were into. But you know, it's kind of stupid of me, because I'm just intimidated by the things I'm not good at. And it's silly to assume that everyone who comes to the club will have the same interests as me. But it's so cool you were able to get Sayori into it. It's like the club is working. I'm really happy about that. She's not into it. Huh? She's not into it, and I'm stupid for forcing it onto her.
Yuri falls silent again, as if she started her thought but can't figure out how to continue it. And, yeah, see what I mean? Both of them are blaming each other for this whole thing, when in reality there is nothing to... like, there's nothing to be blamed for. And why they both need to kind of talk it out and realize that nobody's angry at anybody.
Did something happen?
Yuri sighs. Okay, are we finally going to get into the conflict resolution here?
No, it's just me.
Yep, Sayori thinks she's the problem, Yuri thinks that she's the problem. When in reality there is no problem here, and it is just very painful to see them like this.
Yuri pauses. I'm thinking.
Yes, Yuri needs that patience, just like I said. A moment passes in silence, then Yuri shakes her head.
I shouldn't be complaining to you all of a sudden. Don't be silly. I won't think you're complaining. I just want to make sure you feel welcome. If it's important to that, then you can tell me anything. Well, I do feel welcome. Too welcome, I guess. It's not an issue with the club. It's just an issue with me. I feel so wrong to inconvenience you with it.
Monica pauses and thinks.
Well, what if we put it this way? It's my job as president to understand the needs of the club members, right? We're going to have all kinds of people joining this club. Hopefully, anyway.
Little does she know, we already have 75% of the club here. Well, not including MC.
And learning about the diverse needs and interests of everyone will help me come up with the club activities that everyone can be happy with. That everyone can be happy with? Not just only some people? Of course!
Of course!
I need to be looking out for everyone. Otherwise, what kind of club would it be?
A club where only some of the people are happy and the others are feeling very, very awkward and out of place.
I see.
Yuri looks a little more relaxed. It signals to Monica that switching from a sympathetic approach to a pragmatic one was a good choice. Each individual truly does have their own needs. Yeah, what works for some people is not going to work for everybody. And, yeah, as somebody on the autism spectrum, I know that very well. Yeah, what learning methods might work for most people, I may need a little more help on my end.
Okay.
Yuri takes a deep breath.
I'm a really weird and awkward person. I've accepted that about myself.
Okay, you're back. And yes, I'm a very weird and awkward person myself. if my entire YouTube channel has not demonstrated that, then I don't know what else can. It's like, yes, I'm a very weird and awkward person, especially when it comes to being super socially awkward around other people, and yes.
I just don't know how to, I guess, connect with other people.
And in my case, it's kind of a double whammy. Being socially awkward and falling on the autism spectrum, so... yeah, it's like I have a double hard time trying to connect with other people sometimes.
How's it so easy for everyone else? How do you just make conversation about any arbitrary topic? I can talk for hours about things I'm into. Unfortunately, so much that I don't know when to stop.
Exactly. Like, a little bit of background to my personal life a bit, but like, after my mother passed away and I moved in with my aunt, and while we were trying to figure out if I did truly fall on the autism spectrum, my aunt kind of told me how I know so much stuff about useless information. Like, I could tell you a lot about Transformers, Bionicle, Star Wars before the whole Disney trilogy happened. Like, according to her, that was all, like, useless information that nobody needed to know about. Essentially useless stuff that nobody cares about. And I get the feeling that it's kind of the same thing for Yuri here. Like, she can talk for hours about all this stuff, and she might feel like, at the end of the day, these people probably don't care about that stuff, and it ends up chasing them away. So... she probably feels like it's a bad thing for her to, like, be so expressive with herself. And, okay, yeah, so you kind of get where I'm coming from. But anyway, yeah, so essentially, Yuri kind of feels like she can't fully express her interests, otherwise she's afraid that people are just going to kind of write her off as some kind of freak of nature and not want to have anything to do with her. And even before I fully figured out that I fell on the autism spectrum, I experienced that. Like, I guess you could say that realizing that I did fall on the spectrum did kind of... like, I did kind of have this aha kind of moment where I realized, like, well, based on what all these other people on the spectrum have experienced, now it kind of makes sense for me. Like, I understand now, like, why I'm kind of like this. The whole hyperfixation about stuff that I have. And how I kind of struggle making those connections. And I guess it also kind of lends credence to why I've seen, like, some fan theories that Yuri might be on the spectrum as well. But I mean, obviously, that's just for people to interpret. Unless Dan Salvato fully says, yes, Yuri is on the autism spectrum, it's all just left at theory at this point, but... I mean... you can't deny that if you were to look at stuff, like some of the general things that some people on the spectrum report, like this hyperfixation, the social awkwardness, inability to recognize social cues and whatnot, you can't deny that there are some similarities there. Anyhow, enough of my character analysis. Although, I don't know if anyone would really like to hear me do like a character analysis on Yuri or any of the other characters, but... I mean, considering Yuri is probably the one I gravitate to the most, she's probably like one of the ones that I really identify with, and... Like, if Monica did not exist, I think Yuri would probably be, like, my number 1, with Sayori as, like, a close number 2.
But for anything else, I just have no idea what to say.
And you'll be left grasping at straws, being like, so, how's that weather? Like, you're literally trying to find anything to talk about. If you're able to talk about anything at all.
So, I understand that about myself. I'm just not good with people. I can't help it. So it feels like whenever I'm confronted with a new social situation, I'm either ignored, or made fun of, or taken pity on.
I'm just like, god damn it. It's like, I know how that feels so much. Like, Yuri, I know how you feel so much.
And Sayori falls into that third category.
But I don't think she was taking pity on you. She was really trying to... She was really trying to, like, get along with you and get to know and...
She... what? Hold on, you're saying that Sayori is taking pity on you?
Yuri nods.
I just want to be treated like a normal person.
You and me both, Yuri. You and me both.
If you don't like me or you don't connect with my interests, then just tell me. I can accept that and move on. Sayori is too nice to me. I'm so stupid for not realizing she would just go along with whatever I pushed onto her. Nobody deserves to Nobody deserves to put themselves through that kind of discomfort just because they pity some weirdo who doesn't know how to make friends. It's the worst feeling. I hate it.
Yuri's sharp words cut through the tense air. Somewhere in the middle of the conversation, the two stopped short in the hallway, prioritizing the conversation over their original task. Yeah, I think putting up some flyers can wait. This is more important right now. Monica looks at Yuri. Yuri only looks down with her fists clenched. Yes, you two need to talk it out. I know it won't be easy, but as somebody, like, taking a look at both sides of view, I know that it's just a misunderstanding.
I think you should tell her that. I could never say that to someone's face. It's pathetic. Sayori is different. Making people happy is the most important thing to her.
Yes, it is. To the point where she neglects her own happiness. Which she really shouldn't do, but her depression kind of puts all these nasty thoughts into her head, so she can't help it.
I'm sure that's all she's trying to do. So, if you're able to explain to her what makes you happy, then she'll do anything to make it happen. That's the problem. What kind of friendship has one person trying to cater to the other person's weird needs?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like a one-way street, doesn't it?
I'm sorry. I'm making myself sound so... No. I think I'm starting to understand.
Monica hesitates to finish her thought out loud. It's something that Sayori would say better. But unfortunately, Sayori is not here. So Monica needs to take charge here. Sayori is someone who will give anyone however much kindness they need in order to smile. And that's why I say that Sayori is too good for this world and we don't deserve her. But Yuri, who has difficulty accepting kindness, must be driving Sayori to be even more assertive in her kindness, further exacerbating the matter. And it's because Yuri is not used to accepting kindness. She's used to people just treating her like some freak of nature and not wanting to talk to her or even be seen with her. And like I said, I know that all too well. Especially when in middle school I used to be treated as a weirdo, and a lot of my friends that I used to have from elementary school one day decided that they were too good to be around me. Whenever it'd be like I want to go sit with them at lunch, it'd be like, "Go away, Daniel." And I would spend pretty much every single day at lunch for those next 2 years eating by myself. And that's if I didn't have people who would sit around and just be total jerks to me, sit down and join me. So yes, it's like I know that all too well. Neither person is to blame, but it's an issue that can't be resolved without them understanding each other better. Yes. And that's why they need to talk it out. When was this? This was back in my middle school years. And it got worse because considering I would eat by myself, a lot of other kids there would look at me as like a loner, a freak. So I really didn't have too many friends in middle school. Hey there. Like, I even remember one case where, let's see, so our school had bleachers, like, outside, right? Sometimes I just go out there and just kind of sit around and do whatever. I had these jerks who, ironically, I used to be friends with in elementary. They'd start throwing rocks at me and be like, "Hey, stupid, the school's over this way." And yeah, it's like what the hell did I ever do to you guys? In fact, like I said, one of those guys I was friends with. And yet, all of a sudden, he's there treating me like a jerk. Well, thankfully, I can say that he kind of got what was coming to him. And, like, once I finally kind of told somebody about, like, this guy, like, he never bothered me again, thankfully. But, yeah, it's like, he was a friend of mine, and yet, it's like, why are you treating me like this? Okay, then. And, yeah, I got them all. And I also got the Hydroculi at this point. Until, of course, the 4.2 update that introduced, like, 100 more. But, yeah, I mean, if you're more into it for the Genshin streams, then that's alright. I know this kind of game isn't for everybody, but, you know, my channel was built on DDLC, and I've been putting this game off for the longest time. I just want to try to get through this game finally. This game is like 2 years overdue at this point. But yeah, I guess here I am just kind of recalling like some of my experiences in middle school. There's a reason why I say that middle school was probably the worst 2 years of my life. But yeah, if I could write an entire book on my experience in middle school, I would. Just to talk about how I went through all this crap and how like a lot of so-called friends that I had in elementary school just all of a sudden just turned on me one day, thinking that they were too cool to be seen with a freak like me. which led to other kids looking at me as a freak because I didn't talk to anybody and I'd always sit alone, and yeah. I would like to hope that Yuri did not have to go through anything like that in her time. Of course, though, I have seen some mods touch on this a little bit. Like, for example, in this bond we share, you have this bully character by the name of Nick, I believe, take a book that Yuri was reading that her deceased father left to her, and just toss it into the fountain like, I'm so funny. Like, yeah, and it's for that very reason that I hate the Chad MC character. Because whenever I see his sprites, I automatically think of the character of Nick from this bond we share, and how much of a jackass he was to Yuri, and just totally destroying her inside. Well, ironically, a lot of people say that middle school is kind of like that. That doesn't make it right, obviously, but I mean, what can you do? Well, aside from trying to report this kind of thing whenever you experience it or see it, if you're watching it happen. But yeah, like I said, middle school was like one of the worst 2 years of my life. High school was a little bit better, even though I was kind of treated as an outcast. With the exception of like 1 or 2 people, maybe 3 people, I was mostly left alone. Mostly. Anyway, yeah.
Sari wants to be your friend. I promise that. It's okay for different people to have different needs.
Yes. Not every single person out there is going to have the same needs, so there's no one-size-fits-all solution to that.
I mean, Sayori, she has her own needs too.
Which we kind of established in the previous side story.
But good friends will work together and can be what they need for each other. You just need to have good communication and talk about it.
Or, you just need to have good communication. And yes. Alright, good night. Take care. I don't know if I'll stream Genshin tomorrow or what I'll do. What was I gonna say? Yeah, pretty much good communication all around. That's something that you need. Whether it's like a romantic relationship, a platonic friendship, anything. There needs to be that communication for everybody involved. Otherwise, well, things will just be kind of shaky, to say the least.
I don't have good communication.
Yuri stops and shakes her head.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. My head is just... it's so resistant to everything. I'm pushing such a kind person away from me because of it.
Yuri pauses to think.
I'm so tired of this cycle I'm creating for myself. I think I'm so afraid of people pushing me away that I push them away first.
Oh boy, yep. Like, it's just so painful to see, like, yes, I've been down that road before, I know what that's like. And I often worry, like, yeah, like, have I pushed away people myself? I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised. But I mean, I'll probably never know for sure.
How thoughtless and immature of me.
Yuri takes a deep breath and exhales.
I didn't mean for it to turn into a whole venting session.
Well, hey, sometimes you kind of need that.
But I understand now that I just need to communicate with her. You're totally fine. It's for the club, remember? You're just helping make the club a better place for everyone. Yeah.
Yuri falls silent again. She looks like she wants to say something.
This kind of critical thinking is something that I'm really bad at. You know, about people. So, thank you. Anytime.
Monica smiles at Yuri. Just for a moment, Yuri finds it in herself to meet Monica's gaze, returning a shy smile of her own. Ah, yes, that's another thing. Some people on the spectrum find it difficult to look people directly in the eye. I think that's like another big one there, so... But like I said, theorizing that Yuri is being on the spectrum is all we can do. Just theorize. But I will say that I think it is a plausible theory. Especially if I compare some of Yuri's experiences and the way she is in the game to... Oh well, NCS is playing F-099. What was I saying? If I compare like what I've gone through in my own experiences to what I'm seeing here with Yuri... Okay, let's see. Yuri and Monica finished replacing the old flyers with the new ones. More accurately, Monica did most of the work while Yuri followed along. But as the clubroom once again draws near, so does Yuri's confrontation. Well, it's not like she's gonna confront Sayori like all... You know, like for a conflict, but...
I can't do this. Yes, you can. It'll be great.
Yuri sighs and shakes her head.
I'm never going to feel confident enough. I just have to do it.
It's just like Shia LaBeard says. Just do it!
If I don't do it now, I never will.
Yuri starts toward the door, but then turns to face Monica.
You're not just going to wait outside, are you? I can take a walk. Want me to get you a coffee or something?
Monica with her coffee.
Actually, I prefer tea.
And then Yuri with her tea.
I like to make my own, though, so please don't worry about it. Although I suppose that's one downside of reading here in a club rather than at home. I don't get to drink tea while doing it. Sorry, I guess that has nothing to do with this.
Is this the origin of why they keep a teapot, or rather a tea set in the club room?
You know, now that you mention it, I bet we could get permission to keep stuff for tea in the club room.
Yes, it is! It's the origin of the tea sets!
You can use, like, an electric kettle to heat up water, right? Would that really be possible? I'll look into it. I think it would be great.
Yuri smiles and nods at the thought.
Well, I'll be back in a bit. Good luck!
Monica waves at Yuri, then turns around and departs down the hallway as Yuri's smile fades once more. A moment of daydreaming about tea isn't enough to save her from the anxiety of the task that lies before her. And I imagine it would be eating away at her. Although, of course, it's also eating away at Sayori because she has no idea what's going on through Yuri's head. But it must be done. Taking one more deep breath, Yuri timidly opens the clubroom door. Alright, well here we go.
Yuri? Wait, hold on, I'm not done yet.
Oh my... Was she reading the book this whole time? Sayuri shovels a bunch of papers around. Yuri stammers, her words suddenly caught in her throat. At that moment, she realizes how Sayuri has been spending her afternoon. That's right. Reading this book, trying to understand it more.
I wasn't expecting you to come today. I was really hoping to make it all the way through the next chapter first. But I got most of the way through it. And look!
Sayuri holds up a sheet of paper. It's a page of notes, beautifully produced with indentations, categories, and even color coding. As Yuri sees it, her expression shifts from anxiety to despair. Why despair, though? It just shows that Sayuri's trying to get into it. And maybe she's enjoying it. Like... I don't know.
I was afraid you were getting disappointed in me, so I've been trying really hard. Stop.
Yuri presses her fists against her forehead.
Please stop. I can't take this. Yuri?
Sayuri's voice quivers in shock after having received the exact opposite response she was expecting.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sayuri looks away in guilt.
Did I do something wrong?
No, Sayuri, you didn't.
I don't understand, so if I did something wrong, please tell me.
Yuri shakes her head.
No, it's me. I keep putting myself in these situations where people are afraid to treat me normally. If you don't like this kind of reading, it's okay. Please, just tell me. I don't need to be treated differently just because I'm weird. But I don't treat you differently. I just want my friends to be happy. So I thought if we did something together that you might really like. I don't want your pity. Why did I do that?
Yuri sinks to her knees. Her voice squeaks.
I'm sorry.
Tears of guilt and self-loathing begin to stream down her face. Yuri also needs a hug right now. This isn't how it was supposed to go. I think I've mentioned in the past how I grew up pretty much hating myself. Especially when it came to like how my father used to kind of low-key bully me. Combine that with like a lot of the bullying I would get in middle school and partially in high school. Well, pretty much from elementary school all the way until college. Like, yeah. Why is it so hard just to articulate your thoughts? Because words can be difficult sometimes, especially if you don't know how to express yourself. That's why it's so hard sometimes, and then sometimes people just don't understand, and then they just blow you off. Why do you end up pushing everyone away from you? Because a lot of those people aren't even the right people you should be surrounding yourself with. That's why. If they leave you because they think you're a freak or whatever, then who needs them? The real people that matter in your life are going to be those who stick around through the thick and thin of it all. So everyone that you think that you're pushing away, well, I guess in reality you don't need them at all. But it's hard to really realize that, especially early on in life. The benefit I can say is I've had these years of experience with it all, so I've had the time to reflect and realize this. Yuri's mind pounds with internal accusation as she shuts her eyes, unable to face Sayori or the rest of the world. She should leave, just escape from here before Monica sees her like this, and before Sayori tells Monica what she did. But before Yuri can put any strength into her legs, she feels a warm pair of arms gently wrap around her from behind.
It's okay.
Or,
It's okay.
Sayori whispers in a soothing voice.
It's okay. It's okay.
Overcome by despair, Yuri finds herself unable to protest or pull away from Sayori's kind gesture. Yuri sniffles, breathing heavily through a clenched throat, trying with all her willpower to control herself.
I understand. I understand that the things you're feeling in your head are different from the things you're trying to say. I know that must be what you're feeling right now. I promise, I understand that. So I'll give you as much time as you need. When you're ready, just tell me your feelings and we'll talk about them together. Okay?
Yuri sniffles again and nods her head. She gives herself a minute to compose her thoughts, then speaks while steadying her voice.
I think that I've gotten so used to people being weirded out by me that it feels like anyone who's nice to me is just doing it out of pity. I'm so horrible with people. So it makes me not want to believe that somebody can actually like me for who I am.
Yuri pauses, but Sayori doesn't interrupt. Rather, she waits for Yuri to continue.
I got so excited when I joined the literature club. I thought it was finally my chance to make friends through my interests. Because my interests are the only things I know how to talk about. It's all I have going for me. But then, whenever I catch myself getting overly obsessed in front of other people, it feels like I'm making a fool of myself. I hate myself for it. Ultimately, I just want to be treated like a normal person, but how am I supposed to expect that when I can't behave like one? I just want to learn how to get along with people and stop ruining things for myself. And that's all.
Yuri finishes her thoughts, feeling more steady after having gotten them out. Sayori, who can feel Yuri's breath rise and fall from beneath her arms, realizes that as well.
Thank you for helping me understand you a little bit better. You know, you were so great at helping me while we were reading. So I'll help you with the things that you need, too. But I feel like it would just be frustrating for you with how much patience I require sometimes.
And considering how I am sometimes, I feel like I need patience as well. It's like I said, when it comes to me, I feel like people if they are willing to, just have that sort of patience and understanding. If they're impatient with me and whatnot, well then I might tend to close up. And unfortunately, like, my mother is kind of guilty of that as well. Yeah, as much as I love my mother to this day, I will admit, sometimes her being impatient with me is what often led to me kind of closing myself off from people. So yeah, like, between my father never really trying to understand me, and my mother sometimes being impatient with me, and sometimes even snapping at me, yeah, it's like, it's almost no wonder that I'm afraid to express myself, you know? Combine that with, like, the bullying I would get throughout most of my academic career. Yeah, it's like, I guess deep down I felt like I'm better off not interacting with people. Otherwise they're just gonna think I'm some kind of cross-wired freak, and in some cases subject me to bullying, torment, humiliation. The only thing I can thankfully say is it was relegated to mostly middle school. But I mean, I still dealt with it. Like, I still remember this one idiot from my college years. And I felt kind of relieved when Darlene told me she thought that he was annoying. So it kind of made me feel like, well, at least I'm not the only one who thought he was annoying. Happy birthday, Darlene. I still miss you.
That sounds kind of familiar. I couldn't stop worrying about that while we were reading.
Darlene. Well, if you really have to know. Long story short, in my college years, she was a girl who... she was kind of like my Monica. I thought that she was very beautiful and fun to talk to, and I did have feelings for her, and yeah, pretty much. She was one of my best friends for a good chunk of my college time. Unfortunately, though, there was some conflict between us, especially like after my mother's death. I temporarily cut her out of my life when she was kind of like leading me on and standing me up. We reconnected like right before the big V hit. She told me that she was kind of glad to see that I had changed and I became a little more confident in myself. Back during college, she actually got kind of angry at me because I never really spoke for myself or stood up for myself or whatever, and that always kind of stuck with me. And then she even promised that she would be there for me more and not make me feel so alone, especially now that both my mom and my aunt were gone. But unfortunately, she kind of went back to her old ways, and she had this nasty habit of always leaving me on red. especially whenever I would try to talk to her. And one day, though, in September, she was posting some very concerning things online, and I was legit scared that something was going to happen to her, and I was doing everything I could just to see, like, are you okay? Please answer me. But she would always just ignore me until I finally just kind of... I was just here like, did I do something wrong here? Do you hate me for some reason? Just tell me already if you want me to leave. And that's when she kind of like snapped at me, and she's here like, well, what are you talking about? You know what? Do whatever you want. I'm tired of trying to keep you people in my life. And at that point was when I just sort of... I was just here like, I've had it with you. You've treated me this way. You've made me feel like a loser sometimes. And yet here I am still trying my best to be there for you, be a good friend. Even though deep down I kind of wanted to be more with her, even though I always doubted she would ever look at me that way. Because I always felt like she was too beautiful to ever be with a guy like me. So I pretty much just told her exactly how I felt then and there. I kind of hinted at my feelings for her and just how I did not appreciate her walking all over me and making me feel like a loser half the time. And that was that. I pretty much cut her out of my life after that for good. And then about a year ago, I found out from a mutual friend that her family was having a GoFundMe for her funeral. Even though, like, I was still kind of angry at her, she still meant a lot to me, and I don't know, it was just very weird. I can't explain it, like, I just felt like my heart sink when I saw that her family was trying to raise money for her funeral. So yeah, as stupid as it sounds, and as stupid as I might be for still caring about her even after all she put me through, she still means a lot to me, and yeah, I know I have issues. You don't need to tell me twice, I know. Anyway, that's Darlene in a nutshell. Somebody that I cared a lot about deeply, who never really treated me all that well. Sometimes she did treat me well, sometimes she didn't. And yet, like, I still did everything I could to stick around and kind of, like, you know, look past that. But at one point, she kind of, like, she pushed me to my limit, and I just felt like, I've had enough, I'm sorry. I can't be around you anymore because this is how you make me feel sometimes. But, you know, despite that, it's like she still was, like, a very important person to me. One of the few people, like, in that little college clique that we had that didn't treat me like a cross-wired freak. Like, she treated me like an actual person. Well, of course, when she wasn't kind of being, like, all aga with me, like, leaving me on red and pretending that I wasn't there and whatever. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know you all that well IRL, so I can't really say for sure, but... well... I don't know. Feelings are complicated. Let me see here. Okay, I already read that.
I was so afraid that you would get frustrated with me.
Oh, well, I guess I'm kind of dipping into Yuri's voice.
I was so afraid you would get frustrated with me. But I would never do that. I did my best to reassure you by mentioning how I have a lot of patience. Yeah, I know, but my irrational fears just wouldn't be quiet sometimes.
The rain clouds in her head.
I'm sure it's the same for you, right? Yeah. Irrational fears. Well, you know, there's no way that you could frustrate me because I already like you as the person that you are.
And that's pretty much like what a person like Yuri needs. Just for somebody to accept her the way she is and not try to change her.
I know you said you have a hard time believing that, but I promise that it's true. You don't have to be a social person for people to like you. I think you're really considerate in your own way, you know, worrying so much about people's feelings. We're all kind of like that. It's a literature club. But it's the best part that we're all different and have different interests. Like about the book. I'm reading it because I want to. I promise, that's what I really want. It's a bit of a struggle, but try not to mistake that for me not enjoying it. I mean, we could discover new things or we could never discover new things if we didn't try them, right?
Or try them first, right?
I want to learn the reasons that you love it so much. And in the end, if it's not for me, then I can say that, but I'll be glad that I tried it and learned more about you. Plus, you're like super duper smart, and I want that to rub off on me.
Yuri fights back a smile at that comment. Already the heavy atmosphere surrounding her seems to have evaporated through the caress of Sayori's arms. She really does have beautiful hair.
Your hair is so pretty. I always wanted long hair, but I was awful at taking care of it, so I cut it all off.
Yuri's tension relaxes. Well, I guess we kind of know... well, I mean... there's no problem in, like, girls having short hair if they wanted to. Like, I think some girls are cute with short hair. Like, they own it. For once, she feels okay just listening rather than worrying so much about saying the right thing. Sayori, sensing Yuri's comfort, lets her rest. It must be so difficult for her to feel relaxed around other people. But if the literature club can make it happen, then it's something that she deserves to experience.
Well then, based on my understanding of your feelings, I suppose I wouldn't mind if we were to continue reading. That's what I wanted to hear. But we can stop at any time. If you truly don't like it, please be honest about it. I won't be offended. Of course!
Oh, of course!
I'm not going to judge anything this early on, though, so we'll just see what happens. Oh, and,
Oh my... Oh boy, that's gonna open up a can of worms there.
It's not good to touch people without their consent first. Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. Oh, you didn't. I mean, I suppose it was kind of nice. I was just saying. I'm back. Monica's back. I haven't seen you, at all recently.
Saria trots over to Monica. She whispers loudly.
Can I hug you? Sure, Sayori.
Saria wraps her arms around Monica.
Oh yeah, Yuri, it might be good to know. Sayori can be kind of a hug monster.
I mean, you're not wrong, but still, the way you put it.
Hey, don't call me a monster. Artemis is a monster. If he inherits the kingdom, it could spell disaster.
Okay, she's really paying attention to that book, I guess. Yuri laughs. Monica perplexedly looks between the two of them, then smiles. I guess that's an inside joke the two of them have now.
Well, I'm glad you've been enjoying your reading so far. It's like our first real activity as the literature club. About that. Well, you've been so patient with exploring my interests. I think that it would be inconsiderate of me to not return the favor to you and learn about the things that you like. Yes! Do you like poetry?
Yuri smiles. Okay, I guess we don't get to see Natsuki here. Which, I mean, that's not a problem, although, yeah, I'm kind of here wondering... I wonder how she gets to factor into this. Which, I mean, she's apparently going to be in the next one after this, so... And, if we could have, a little pink dot over the tracks that we unlock, that'd be nice. Just to know, okay, that's the picture that I unlocked. Or, that's the song I unlocked. Okay, finish side story understanding 2. And understanding 1. Trust 1. Oh. We didn't get anything for Trust 2? I guess not. Well, I mean, it's alright, but I'm just here huh. I'm just still here kind of trying to figure out, all the... Well, just unlocking all the things. Okay, and here's the CG from the Understanding Trust... Or, the Understanding side story. Okay, backgrounds, nothing there. We have ethics. Well, yeah, so I guess the story in universe here is the metaverse are apparently the real game developers of this quote unquote simulation, and that Team Salvato is just a front that they're using. Now, obviously, that's not the case in the real world, but here in this world of DDLC Plus, that's what they're doing with that. So kind of like a Lemony Snicket kind of thing where like yeah, they've created like their own sort of persona here in universe. Okay, well, let me see, what time is it now? It's about almost 9:40. Oh wait. 80%, well, I'm getting there. Yeah, I have no idea if I'll get like 100% exactly. Especially because like yeah, I'm missing some of the special poems here. 4 of them to be exact. But yeah, it's going to take forever to try to get them all. And as a reminder, you only get 3 of the special poems at random for every playthrough. So that means you have to play this game multiple times. Yep, so well, thank goodness that there's the skip button, or as I call it, the ludicrous speed. But yeah, I guess for the most part I have all the sketches. I need 2 more of the promo artworks from Satchley. I think one of which is actually the poster of Monica that I have here from one of her birthday celebrations. AKA one of the posters that Good Smile used to have on their website, but they don't sell anymore. Like, I'm still disappointed in that. Like, I did want to go back and get some of the other posters because I did like how the artwork looked, but, well, that's so shoddy, though, that they don't sell them anymore. Like, why? Well, the only thing I can say is at least I got one of my favorite ones to hang in my room because I think Monica looks very pretty in it. But it's still disappointing. Okay, and we're still missing some of the backgrounds here. Okay, well, I did get some spoilers for the Natsuki and Monica side story. Well, hell, all the YouTubers who would use these CGs as the thumbnails for some of the videos, I got the major spoilers there. Yeah, well, the only poster I have right now is one of Monica that I think actually posted like back in 2020. And this sort of big well, not poster thing, but like this kind of weird painting picture frame thing that my aunt hung up in my room. And this clock that I have hanging here for decoration. Otherwise, yeah, I only have the one poster. Yeah, what was I saying? Right, so I know that the music room is possibly going to show up at some point in the Natsuki and Monica side story. As for the vending machine, I'm not sure when that'll show up yet. I could have sworn that we did see it already, but I could be wrong. I'm sure it'll show up eventually, but I want to say I actually think that the vending machine is in the Natsuki and Yuri side story. If I'm remembering all the CGs exclusive to this game correctly, which I'm not sure if I totally do or not. Yeah, because if I'm trying to remember the one with Monica and Yuri, I think it's supposed to be the two of them sitting at a desk. And the one with Sayori and Natsuki, I think, is of them in the club room, with one of them sitting at a desk somewhere. And yeah, see, I can't fully remember it. Which, well, I guess maybe it's a good thing I waited so long, because yeah, now I can't remember any of this stuff. So I'm more likely to be surprised by it. Yeah, so who knows? Okay, but yeah, I think. Let's see, so next time we are going to be looking at the Respect side story, which is between Natsuki and Monica. And I guess we'll see how, at least according to the side stories, how Natsuki joined the club. So that only leaves me with 4 more side stories. Technically 5, I don't remember. Like I said, I think you're supposed to unlock something in this section after you go through all 6 of them, but we'll see. Yeah, we're gonna stop here, mostly for the sake of keeping the format of doing one of these per stream, and just because it's almost 10 o'clock and I gotta get off real soon. Next time, well, I'm hoping that I can keep up with it next week. Then, yeah, we're going to be able to go through the Respect side story. Sunday, tomorrow, I want to say that maybe I'm going to try to do another Genshin stream, even though there's not really a whole lot to do right now. Aside from a few world quests that I actually stumbled on while I was going oculi hunting. But yeah, we'll see. Most likely I'm going to try to, but just in case I don't, well, you have the warning now. For sure, though, I want to see if I can try to do at least a short stream on Tuesday when the 4.2 update is live. Just so I can try to go for Farina, at the very least. Because I bet a lot of you all definitely want to see that. But yeah, so otherwise, next Saturday, I'm going to try my hardest to make sure that I'm able to do another DDLC stream. I'm not really into too many shooter games. Unless you count Splatoon and the Fall of Cybertron, War for Cybertron games. Or, what was... well, if you're thinking of, COD or Fall of Duty, I don't really go into those ones too much. I mean, I know about them, obviously, but they're not really, my cup of tea, so to say. The only way I might get into a shooter game is if it's kind of disguised as something that I enjoy. Like the High Moon Transformers games. Because it's a shooting game that involves the Transformers characters. or Splatoon, which is kind of like a... Well, I guess if you don't know what Splatoon is, it's pretty much just a Nintendo-fied... Yeah. Like, I actually used to stream Splatoon Splatfests. Well, the Splatfests for Splatoon 2 sometimes. I haven't gone Splatoon 3, but I'd like to. Maybe one of these days I'll be able to get a hold of it. But yeah, like I said, who knows? At least you know what Splatoon is. Yeah, who knows? I wouldn't mind at least kind of streaming like the Splatfests every now and then. But yeah, we'll see. Considering my schedule is going to be changing pretty soon, there's a lot of things that I have to kind of wait and see before I can be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing this now, because, well, I don't like to promise things and then end up going back on my promise. Like, yeah, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to stream every night, this, and that, and then I don't do it. So that's why I'm always kind of here, like, I want to say that I'm going to do it, but in case I don't, like, preface that, like, I don't make any promises, but I am going to try my hardest to do it. So, were you just curious if I played any shooter games? Oh, and well, I also used to play the old Star Wars Battlefront games. The ones from 2004, 2005. I don't play the ones that EA put out just because I haven't heard, like, the best things about them. That, and, well, EA makes them, so... And I've heard about the shenanigans that they've pulled, especially for their version of Battlefront 2, so... Yeah, it's like, no thanks! Alright, yeah. So, I guess you could say, unless it's something that I'm interested in, kind of like the Transformers, War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron games, or like the old Star Wars Battlefront games, then yeah, I don't really go into shooters all that much. I can't, like... I've played the original Call of Duty, but, yeah, I mean, it was okay, but not really, like, my thing. And, I mean, like, yeah, if it is your thing, well, then more power to you. And I did actually play the original Gears of War back in the day with this one guy, and I was alright with it, but, well... Considering, like, I don't really go for the Xbox, especially because I kind of sort of dislike the Xbox. That's also another thing entirely. But yeah, so I guess the long and short of it is, unless it is something that involves my interests, I don't really delve into shooters all that much. Yeah, exactly. So I have played a little bit of the very first one from back in the day. But yeah, after that, I haven't really delved into the series, especially since I never got to own the Xbox 360 or the Xbox One. So, and even the... Well, I'm so confused with the Xbox naming convention. Yeah. I mostly just stick to, like, RPGs, platformer games, adventure games, kind of like Legend of Zelda, or, well, even Genshin Impact. And then, well, sometimes visual novels as well, like DDLC and a few of the ones that I have played on my channel as Let's Plays. I've uploaded like a few little things of like some stupid little clip videos of Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. I've also done a few streams for Smash Bros. Ultimate and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So that's kind of like where a lot of my interests are, and yeah, Wii U is definitely like one of my go-to consoles. Pretty much like I was a Nintendo fanboy. I didn't really get into like PlayStation very much until my mom kind of eventually caved in and bought me a PlayStation 3 because, well, I did like some of the games that were on there and I really wanted one. And by then, that was like, what, 2011, I believe? Yes, I'm playing this game on the Switch. Although, some people have thought that I'm a weirdo for doing this, but I bought DDLC Plus for both the Switch and the PlayStation 4. Just because, well, I guess it's kind of like the collector in me, where I'm here like, I just want to have it there, like, I guess in case I ever want to, it's there for me. And I don't end up regretting it later. Like, oh man, I should have gotten that for the PlayStation 4 when I had the chance. Now, I don't know if that'll ever happen, but in case it does, I literally have it here. Like, it's there for me if I ever want to play it, but yeah, I think for the foreseeable future, I can safely say that I'll be sticking with the Switch version of it. Since the Switch, for the most part, is, at least, it used to be my go-to thing, but ever since Genshin kind of took over a lot of my time gaming, I think my PlayStation 4 has seen a lot of use. Before, I only used to use it for, like, when I was playing through the Uncharted collection, Final Fantasy 15, the Final Fantasy 7 remake. But yeah, now it's like, my PlayStation has seen a lot of use for me playing Genshin. But yeah, more power to me, right? Yeah, so if I ever want to have that choice there for me, well, yeah, I have it. And plus, I mean, I like well, if it wasn't obvious, I like DDLC. I like the characters. I like having the merchandise, like the Monica Nendroid, the Monica Pop-Up Parade, all the plushes of the girls. Hold on, let me see. What is my friend code? Okay, well, there it is. If you want to add me, I mean, you can go ahead. It's been a while since I've added anybody. I think the last time I've added people was when I used to do some of the Smash Ultimate streams I would do. But, I mean, yeah, like, there it is, if you ever want to add me. Okay, well... Well, there are my alarms warning me to start getting off. And yes, I say alarms because my old phone has that too. Like, as a way of being like, yeah, like, just to make double sure that I stopped streaming with enough time. But okay, yeah, I guess just let me know whenever you're ready. Yeah, well, it's two devices going off at the same time. I guess you could say I just wanted to really make sure that I gave myself enough time to be ready for when I get off to do whatever I wanted to at 10 around this time, Saturday. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, okay. Yeah, I guess there you are. Overwatch. Or well, Overwatch 2. I wanted to try to get into the original Overwatch, and I was okay with it. The bad thing was that this was around the time Overwatch 2 was coming out. Uh, I guess I'll just leave it like that. Yeah, so, and then I've heard a lot of mixed reactions with Overwatch 2, so I just haven't been able to try it for myself. But okay, well, I guess, yeah, as both of my phones indicated, I guess I should sort of start heading on off. So yeah, next time for DDLC Plus, whenever that might be, I'm going to try to see about doing the Respect side story, where I suppose we're going to meet Natsuki for the first time in this story. Well, canonically, chronologically, whatever. Alright, and I guess thanks for the friend request, and